Hi, I'm Kat, the ACT expert at Magoosh. I have over 15 years teaching and tutoring students, and I love helping students ace the ACT. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the very best forms of test prep out there for the ACT so that you can choose the best option for you. First, we have free websites. So this could be everything as basic as Wikipedia. For those of you who just need to kind of fill out your knowledge, maybe you already took a practice test in a classroom or something, and you already know you have a score pretty close to what you need or what you're aiming for. You just need to fill in a couple gaps. So you might just look up those areas of weakness. Maybe you need to brush up on semicolons. Maybe you haven't looked at logarithms in a while. Wikipedia might be an option there. Also, if you're going to take advantage of free online sources, you really should go to, at the very least, ACT.org. On the website, this is the official website, they include practice questions, their own tips, and of course they are the test writers, and so we all want to pay attention to what advice they have for us. The other group of students that I typically direct towards the free option, just website-based, would be somebody who only has a couple days before the exam. I would say if you have less than 7 to 10 days before the exam, it's probably best to just focus on the basics. And so that would be ACT.org, maybe looking for some free online practice tests. The pros for this method is, of course, it's free. You also get to really focus on what matters to you. You get to be efficient in your studies, which is probably what you are aiming for if you're choosing this method. Cons are you don't get to practice pacing. I think that's one of the biggest cons of this method. So you might fill out your knowledge base, you might get a couple tips, but you don't really have any way of practicing in a focused way, getting through each section. And the ACT is a very time-sensitive exam. Still, for a lot of students, online sources, websites really do work, and many people do raise their scores just using that as their prep. Number 2, books. Now this is still the most popular way to prep. A lot of students will buy 1, maybe 2 books. You've probably seen them. They're very long, have lots of practice, lots of tips. If you only get 2 books, the most important ones to get are the ACT.org official book. And this is often called the Red Book. The most recent version has 4 practice tests, and in the past they only had 3. So I was happy to see that. The second is Magoosh's book, ACT Prep by Magoosh. And one of the real strengths of this book is that it gives you study schedules. It gives you advice for college applications. The book includes over 300 practice questions, and it also has a whole section on how to kind of deal with testing fatigue and the stress that comes along with prepping for something like this. If you want to supplement, 3 other books I like are Princeton Review for the science section. I like Kaplan for helping you with your essay. And I like Manhattan for extra math prep. The pros of using books, the main one is that everything's in one place. And that helps you focus a lot better than something such as Wikipedia. Another advantage is books usually come with a number of practice tests. One last advantage of books is they tend to be fairly affordable. So looking at the under $30 price range typically. The disadvantage with books is, well, they're really long. They are a little bit overwhelming, usually very tiny print, hundreds of pages. And what I've noticed is students often just go straight to the practice exams. And while that's good, it's one of the pros of going that route, students will skip over the strategies. They won't read the actual chapter intros, which have really useful information, but who wants to sit down and read 400 pages of text? Very few students. So if you do go this route, I really encourage you to read the introductions to chapters, if not the whole chapter, and it could be a good option for students who are just really self-directed, have a lot of discipline to read and go through the books in a systematic way. The next option is working with a personal tutor. Typically, a tutor will do some kind of an assessment on where you currently are. They'll give you practice questions. A lot of times they will help you with your pacing, give you a couple strategies, and also work through any questions that you don't understand or that you missed. So the advantages are, this is very personalized. I find that students in particular who struggle with motivation often do very well with personalized tutors because you have one person you're accountable to, and that person is really working right at your level. So what are the disadvantages of tutoring? Well, for one, the quality varies a lot. So unless you know of a tutor who comes highly recommended, you don't necessarily know for sure whether this is going to be someone who's a good fit for you, whether this is somebody who really is trained in the ACT on a deep level. And another con for a lot of people is the cost. So in the US right now, the average tutor for ACT costs $80 an hour, and that can be higher if you're living in places where the cost of living is higher, or you're working with somebody who really comes highly recommended and is very well trained. Another option that might work for you are classes in an actual classroom. So here you have a group of students who all sign up for a class, usually a series of weeks, maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks. The pros are the quality control often is pretty high. You have somebody who's professional, who knows what they're doing, who has assignments they can give out, curricula, and they often assign homework, which isn't necessarily popular with students, but it really does take your learning to the next level. And some tutors will do this also, but there's something about a classroom setting with other students in the class, with a teacher in front, that I think motivates students to do that extra homework outside of class. The biggest disadvantage of this method is the cost. These classes, especially the ones that last several weeks, cost hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars. And for a lot of students, a lot of families, that isn't really viable. You might be able to find a weekend workshop that only costs a couple hundred, but these workshops aren't as thorough. You're not going to get as much coverage and as much practice as you probably need. Another con is you're moving with a class all kind of at one level or one speed. And so usually the teacher is kind of teaching to students who are average level, maybe slightly above average scoring students. And that might not be your situation. You know, you might be wanting more advanced or more introductory instruction. You might be really strong in one subject and weaker in another. So you don't get the personalized approach that you would get maybe from a tutor. So for the majority of students, I would say a class probably isn't the best option. However, there are a few students, especially maybe people who are really trying to get a particular score. Maybe they've already taken the exam a few times and they just haven't been able to get the extra edge. Those students, if it financially works for their family, might be good candidates for an in-person class. And that brings us to my personal favorite, the online course method of prepping. The nice thing about online prep, you get a variety of practice tools. You get lessons, practice questions, usually drills, full-length practice tests, and you're going at your own pace. It offers a lot of the advantages of tutoring in terms of being personalized, and it offers advantages you might find inside a classroom because you have actual homework, you have actual activities. Also, the price is usually quite a bit cheaper than both tutoring as well as in-person classes. Typically, these classes cost around $400, and if you think about it, that's equivalent to about 5 tutoring sessions, which probably isn't going to get you all the way through the material. And this is where I'm really proud to be part of Magoosh. We have an online course. We have a variety of options you can sign up for based on how much time you're going to be spending prepping, whether it's 1 month or 6 months. And we have extremely qualified teachers. So you don't just get one expert instructor in front of the classroom, you have an extremely qualified expert just in math. You have somebody else who's helping teach the English and reading. I do a lot of the science material. We have hundreds of lessons. We have drills, so you can test your knowledge without having to devote hours towards a practice exam. And we also have several practice exams. Let's look at the advantages again. Here you're looking at a personalized option, courses taught by qualified experts who are specifically trained in certain subjects. You get drills, practice activities, lessons, practice tests. You get to move at your own pace. Another advantage is this is highly convenient, highly portable. You can do practice questions on your phone. You can bring a computer or any kind of electronic device with you to school and practice in your free periods. And with Magoosh in particular, and this is not the case of a lot of online courses, you get unlimited email access to tutors. The only students that I would say this might not be the best approach for would be people who only have a few days to prep. In that instance, like I said, you might just want to go to the ACT.org website and take advantage of their free tools and tips. If you like this video, follow the link in the description box below and go to magoosh.com, where you can join thousands of students who are already using Magoosh to reach their goals. Looking for more ACT study tips? Check out these videos on your left, and I'll see you in the next one.